Today I want to share a concept that has absolutely changed my life, and it's changed the lives of hundreds of clients that I've taught it to, and that is the power of gratitude. I want to start off today's episode with two powerful quotes that are going to help you understand the power of gratitude. The first one is by Amy Collette, and it says, "Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It's a spark that lights a fire of joy in the soul." And again, I completely stand by that. The second one here is from a Benedictine monk who focused on the benefits of gratitude journaling in a 2013 TED Talk, and this is what he said. What is the connection between happiness and gratefulness? Many people would say, well, that's very easy. When you're happy, you're grateful. But think again. Is it really the happy people that are grateful? We all know quite a number of people who have everything that it would take to be happy, but they are not happy because they want something else or they want more. We all also know people who have lots of misfortune that we ourselves would not want to have, and they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness. You're surprised. Why? Because they're grateful. It is not happiness that makes us grateful. It is gratefulness that makes us happy. Let me say that part again. It is not happiness that makes us grateful. It is gratefulness that makes us happy. That is such a powerful concept, and it's why I teach my clients this concept. It's one of the main fundamental backbones that I build on when I'm working with clients, because when you do this mind work, whether it's journaling, gratitude journaling, whether it's visioneering, whether it's meditation, whatever it is, whenever you start to do the mindset work, you become more conscious, you become more aware. When you become more aware, you then become more confident. You become more confident in yourself. A lot of people struggle with self-esteem, self-awareness, self-image, all these things. It's just the understanding of the word self. We don't really understand ourselves. So when you actually start to do that mind work, you then become more self-aware, which then makes you become more confident. And then when you are more confident and more self-aware, guess what? You start to see more opportunities in your life because you're aligned, because you have clarity, because you start to realize who and what it is that you actually are. So for me, gratitude is more than just saying thank you. For me, it is that, don't get me wrong, but it's a practice that has changed my life massively. And it's basically saying thank you through using a brain system called the reticular activating system. So we've all heard of the reticular activating system. We've all heard of it, or if you haven't heard of it, you've used it. So if you played the yellow car game, so the yellow car game is when you're sat in the car and you see a yellow car. When you see the yellow car, you call it out and then you punch the person next to you. Or you may have done it with minis, where basically if you see a mini, you call it out and you punch the person next to you. That is your reticular activating system. That is basically how gratitude works. I'm explaining it in a second. Because what happens is the brain is given so much information. Your brain is bombarded with information, and it's impossible to really differentiate what's important to us and what's not important to us. So the reticular activating system is like a filter, and it's based on all the stuff in your subconscious, all of your paradigms, your belief, your self-image, all of this stuff. It's basically all the programming that basically runs you as a person on a subconscious level that you're not aware of. And then that then filters all the information that we see. So we only take on stuff that basically resonates with us, essentially. Which again is why if you're constantly focused on negativity, guess what? You get negativity. When you start to focus on things you're grateful for, guess what? You see more of it. So when you're saying, right, yellow car, what you're doing is you're telling the brain, right, focus on yellow cars. Then all the information, all the other cars, you're not really paying attention to, you're just focused in on the yellow cars. And you start to see more of them. You've also experienced this when it comes to getting a new pair of shoes. You want a new pair of shoes, or you want a PlayStation 5, or whatever it is. There's that one thing that you want, or is it a limited edition thing, and then you see it everywhere. Or maybe you're a football fan, I'm an Aston Villa fan, saying, guess what? I will notice an Aston Villa jersey in a room for 1,000 people, but there it is. Why? Because it's important to me. It resonates with me. And that is what this is. When you start to show appreciation for the little things, what you're doing is you're rewiring your brain. You're telling your brain, right, this is important to me. Because what we're actually doing here is we're aligning your brain and your heart. Because your brain is very, very logical. That's where the reticular activating system is. But your heart is where your feelings are. And when you combine the two together, that's when you're in alignment. And that is so, so powerful. So what we're doing is we're retraining the brain using the reticular activating system. What we're doing by gratitude journaling is we're saying, right, these are things that I'm grateful for in my life. Now, here's where people get gratitude journaling wrong. They just go through the motions. I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. And there's no feeling involved. For this to actually work, you have to elicit the feeling as well. I am so happy and grateful because of this. I am so happy and grateful because of that. And you start to elicit the feeling. You then get the feeling with the reticular activating system. It combines it together, and that's when you're in alignment. It's so, so powerful. This concept has changed my life. I've been gratitude journaling for years, but it's only in the last 2 years where I've really got it right, and it's really started to work. Because before, I was going through the motions. It's a nice thing to do. Oh, it's nice to look at all the nice things. But I didn't really understand what I was doing. It's only when someone said, no. You've got to elicit the feeling. You've got to elicit the emotion. When you add that together, that's where the power is. When you actually sit in the feeling of gratitude, gratitude is a feeling. Go back to Benedictine monk. When you get that feeling of gratitude, you really feel it, that is when you get the feeling of happiness. Gratitude is a precursor to happiness. It's a precursor. So when you're showing gratitude for all of these things in your life, you're saying, wow. You're paying attention to all of these small things. What you're saying to your brain is, show me more of these, or show me opportunities where I can get more of these. This is really important to me. And it's such a powerful thing. Now, there's actually science has backed this up. The science has backed this up now. Researchers found that participants who maintained a gratitude journal reported higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction compared to those who didn't. By the way, all these research things, I'm going to put them in the comments below so you can see where I'm getting these from rather than just thinking I'm making these up. There's also been studies that have shown that practicing gratitude journaling, gratitude through journaling, so practicing gratitude through journaling, because you don't have to do it through journaling, you can just show gratitude in the moment. We'll talk about that in a second. It can significantly reduce stress levels and even help alleviate symptoms of depression. When we express gratitude, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, and these are neurotransmitters associated with feeling of pleasure and well-being, and it's basically like a natural mood booster. But this is, again, the key thing here. When we express gratitude, so it's not thinking of the thing, it's actually expressing gratitude. Expressing gratitude is a feeling. This is where people get gratitude journaling wrong. They do not express the feeling. That is the difference. And there's now neuroscientific based stuff for gratitude journaling as well. So you've got neuroplasticity, and basically this is how the brain gets rewired. Because as I said before, the reticular activating system goes on the subconscious level. So with the subconscious, that's been programmed from a young age. I'm going to do a whole podcast, a full-length podcast episode that comes out on Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but on a Tuesday. I'm going to do a full episode on this, about the subconscious mind. And you've got these programs that have been programmed to you from a very, very young age, and that is controlling you. That's controlling your life. So what gratitude journaling is doing is using your conscious brain, your ability to think, to tap into your subconscious and rewire it. It's called neuroplasticity. And it shows that when you focus on these things, it strengthens the neural pathways. So when you're focusing on these things, when you're focusing on gratitude, it actually improves the neural pathways, and again, makes it easier to focus on the good things in your life because you're using the brain's hardwired system against itself for the positive. It's such a crazy concept. And again, remember when I first started doing this, and I remember this, I got a bit of a nickname called the Squirrel Whisperer. And the reason was because when we were out walking in nature, I'd notice squirrels and I'd take photos of them. It's got so present in the moment. And I was so grateful when every time I saw a squirrel, I'm like, this is amazing. So guess what? I started to notice more squirrels, and it sounds nuts. When you start to do this properly, you will start to feel that feeling of gratitude in the moment when you're experiencing it. Because what's happening is, if every evening you're telling your brain, right, think back throughout the day, what are things I'm grateful for? Your brain is lazy, and your brain wants to take the path of least resistance. So if every single evening you're building the habit of gratitude journaling and going back throughout the day to find things you're grateful for, your brain will say to you, right, in the moment something's going to happen, and it's going to be like, boom, it's going to give you that hit of gratitude in that moment, because it's going to say to you, you're going to remind me to remind you of this later on. So here's a massive hit of gratitude so that you don't forget, because I'm fed up of going back throughout the day and you not remembering. So have the gratitude in the moment right now, because you've told me it's important to you and you're going to remind me of this later on, so have it now. Again, you're using the brain's hardwiring against itself. This is so powerful. Until you experience it, just trust me. Again, I do this whole thing for free. I don't run adverts on this. I do this because I want to help you guys. I want to shine some light if there's any darkness. So just trust me, this is one of the best things you can do. And guess what? It's free. At the moment, I'm using a gratitude journal here. It's a Batman one I've got. And the reason why I'm using a Batman one is because I ran out of my normal gratitude journal. So I used an old notepad that I had. You've got a notepad lying around your house. So here's how you start this practice. Very, very simple. Every evening before you go to bed, write down, I am so happy and grateful for, and then start off small, list 3 things in your life that you're grateful for. Now, right now, if you're in a bad headspace, it may be very, very hard, and you may have to scrape the bottom of the barrel. I'm grateful that I can see. I'm grateful that I can write. I'm grateful that I have an iPhone. I have a roof over my head. I've got food in my belly. And you might think, okay, well, how do I elicit that feeling? Okay, just think, what your life would be like if you did not have eyesight. Just sit and think about that. But you're pretty grateful you've got eyesight, haven't you? Again, food in your belly, roof over your head, you've got electricity, you've got a phone, all of these things. Actually sit and think what your life would be like without these things. And then what you'll notice is that feeling of gratitude. And the more you practice this, like a muscle, the stronger it's going to get. That feeling is going to get easier and easier. And then what happens is throughout the day, you're going to find things. You're going to remember that compliment someone paid you. You're going to remember when someone held the door for you. All of these things are going to flood back to you and it becomes easier. This is one of the prerequisites to work with me. All my clients have to gratitude journal because it's so powerful at actually rewiring the brain to focus on the positives. If you struggle to focus on the positives in your life, try this because I promise you it's game changing. So just in the evening, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And in the end, try and aim for 10. Build up to it. Set yourself a 30-day challenge. For the next 30 days, write 3 things that you're grateful for every single night before you go to bed, and try, within the next 30 days, build up to 10. Come back and let me know in 30 days how much more impactful and meaningful things are in your life. It is absolutely game-changing. If you took any value from today's episode, don't forget to like and share it with a friend. If you've gratitude journaled before and it's helped you, comment down below. I'd love to hear how gratitude journaling has helped you. Until next time, take it easy.